everyone, welcome back to another week of rotations video. We're on now week, I think number 46 or 47 in the series where I show you everything I've worn all through the week. And this week it'll be everything from Monday to today, which is Saturday, because I already showed what the Sunday was. So it was Sunday from Sunday last week. But this week was a little bit of a warmer week, especially toward the end of the week. The nights were pretty cool still. In fact, we had a big Arctic blast come through, and most of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere, especially the US, probably felt the same Arctic blast come through. It was like from Monday to Tuesday, like the lows were in almost the teens, like the low 20s, and the wind chill was like in the teens, and it was crazy. So it was very cold the first beginning part of the week, but as the week went on, especially today, it really started warming up. So started off cool, wearing things that I wanted to wear, and had to wear things that were a little more on the warmer side, which fit because there were some other new ones that I got to wear. But starting off on the first day of the work week, which was the coldest day of the week, it was like the highs were like in the mid to low 40s. So it was perfect to wear this one. And most people wouldn't think that this is something you could wear in the daytime, or especially as an like work fragrance, but because of the setting that I work in, the people I work around, they don't mind smelling this stuff. And I think I even got one compliment. People said it smelled pretty good, and I was really enjoying it through the day, but I know this has a little more time to probably sit on the shelf and, you know, mature a little more. But even for what it was really nice. It's a super, super hyped Middle Eastern fragrance in the fragrance community. Everyone knows about this, and almost everybody probably owns it by this point. It is by Fragrance World, or really from French Avenue, and it is Spectre Ghost. So I actually opened this one up in my cold weather clone haul video, which I'll put a link to right here. This one and 6 other fragrances. And this was one that was toward the end of the video, and I absolutely loved it. Those toward the end were, you know, one of the better ones I enjoyed, even though the other ones in the beginning I enjoyed just as much as well. This is meant to be a clone of Nishani's Ani, which is probably considered one of the best niche vanilla scents out there, along with a lot of other indie stuff. But as far as mainstream niche, like well-known, people most of the time consider that one. And this one is very, very, very close. I used to have a sample of Ani, used it up pretty quick, loved it. This is exactly how I remember it smelling. A very sparkling, effervescent style of vanilla. Then I always thought that there was like some florals in here, but apparently not. But it does have a little bit of a freshness in here. That opening is a very strong ginger note, very citric, especially right along the vanilla in here, and how like winter cold weather oriented this is. You don't expect that big blast of citrus, and it lasts pretty well. And then after a while, you get a lot more of that vanilla, a little bit of a booziness, very deep, very, very sweet. And the base in this is what's the heaviest part. And majority of this fragrance is base heavy, which means that as it dries down, it's where it's really gonna come out, and it's gonna have that longevity to it. It does have pretty good projection and sillage for the most part, and I got pretty average, not a little over average performance out of this as far as that, but the longevity was easily even to the next day on my jacket and other clothes and whatnot. It had some good staying power to it. Very nice, amazing, has a great quality to it, way more than you expect for the price. This is very hyped, but also means that it's gonna be a little hard to get a hold of. It's way easier now than when it used to be, and the price is way better than when it used to be as well, but it's still a little hard to get a hold of. But yeah, absolutely love this one. A staple in the cold weather, especially fall and winter time and nighttime. I think as it gets colder, you probably could wear it in the day as long as you're light with the sprays and depending on what you're out and doing. But yeah, this stuff is phenomenal. If you haven't got this one, you've been thinking about it, and you really want something that's a great vanilla style scent, I highly recommend this one. It is amazing. And in that nighttime, I wore one that I opened up in my last live stream. I've seen Astrum Jensen's be the only one really to talk about this fragrance. He's the only reason why I knew about this. And the last time he mentioned it, it literally came available on Fragrance Net the week after. So as soon as I saw it come back in stock, I had to pick up and buy it. And like I said, I opened up in my recent live stream. So if you weren't there for that, you'll see what this is. But if you are, you'll recognize this one. There's another one in here that actually opened up, actually 2 others from the same live stream here. But yeah, this one is by Roberto Cavalli, and this is Roberto Cavalli Uomo Parfum. And there's a little bit of confusion on this one, especially on Fragrantica, that they actually give the notes when you get this bottle to the older version of the regular Uomo one, not the Parfum. But if you look up the regular Uomo one, it gives the notes for the Parfum. It's very confusing, very weird. I'm pretty sure some other note breakdowns out there are more accurate and organized. And at first when I sprayed this in the live stream, I was like, yeah, it's nice. It has this, it has that, but it's nothing too overwhelming. But after actually wearing this on skin Monday night, love it, absolutely love it. One that I'm gonna have to give a lot more wears to, and it's probably gonna quickly be a favorite of mine as the cold weather ensues more. It is very saffron spicy on the top, but immediately get a lot of honey sweetness. There's also a violet note in here. There's a lot of deep woodiness in here, a little bit, like I said, spices, a little bit of ambers and resins in here. There's a booziness in here too, apparently. I think it's a rum note or something else. It's way, way more complex than you think, especially on a test strip. You smell it, but oh yeah, it's a saffron fragrance. Like that's it. Just saffron, Middle Eastern, that's it. But as you wear it on the skin, it actually develops a lot more and you get a lot of complexities with this, way more than even most of the fragrances that are in this price range that I have here. Really, really nice, very classy, very dressed up, but also something that's not too overdressed. You can wear this casually out and about, but probably more of like a nighttime style fragrance overall. But man, this stuff is really, really good. And the saffron in this, you'd think is going to be a little bit metallic, a little bit of a cheaper style of saffron. And I have some other fragrances that are very strong as saffron. I have a very indie niche style saffron fragrance that is probably mostly naturals. And even this is a little bit smoother than that one. The saffron in this actually has a nice roundness and mellowed factor to it. Extremely, extremely nice. Really love this one, and it quickly goes away, not being so saffron forward, more in the sweetness, like an underlying well of sweetness. It's really, really nice. This stuff is phenomenal. A little difficult to get hold of. Like I said, I did put on FragranceNet to let them know when they got it back in stock, and it was a good while before they did, and I've seen it here and there everywhere, out and in, out and in. Some prices better or worse, but if you are interested in seeing what this is like, it is very Middle Eastern, but like I said, for the price point, really, really good, great quality, great blend. Like I said, more complexity to it than you'd think for this price point. Yeah, absolutely love this one. One I'll talk about a lot more in the future, especially when I talk about cheapies that are really, really good. But yeah, this one, phenomenal. If you haven't tried this, definitely see if you can get your hands on it. The next day, wore one that I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about because I wore it twice in a row last week after I got it in. So I'm just wearing it again to see if it changes a little more, if there's something different I'm getting out of it this time. And I wanna keep wearing it until I can kind of nail down exactly what I think about it. But it is by Lattafa, and it is a Assad bourbon. Very hyped, probably one of the most likable ones and more hyped ones from the Assad line, besides the new Assad Elixir coming out, which I will eventually get my hands on as soon as it hits a discounter for a good price. But yeah, this one, a lot of similarities to a lot of other fragrances like Azara's Most Wanted, Wanted by Night, Stronger With You, Valentino Uomo, Born in Roma, things like that. Very bubblegum sweet, very vanillic, has a bourbon vanilla in here, a little bit of spiciness, but mainly just sweet vanilla is what you're getting in here. A little ambery warmth as well. It smells nice, very good, very designer-esque kind of profile, especially all those in a while that had like all the same vanilla bubblegum scents, you know, all the time you smell it, every time you go to Ulta, a Belk, whatever in the air. This is right along with it. Very youthful, but also mature guys can wear it just as much. But yeah, I had some questions whether this was redundant to own along with Lattafa's Ensemble Silver, and there is a lot of similarities between them, but I'm starting to develop an opinion on which one I think is better. So maybe eventually I either put out a full video or just a shorts comparison video, quickly talking about them and letting you know which one I prefer. But yeah, still wearing it, still trying to see what I think about it, and hopefully over time it will change a little more as it sits on the shelf. But as of now, it's nice. Nothing too, way out there, but also nothing to sneeze at. Very likable, very easy to enjoy and wear, especially if you're a younger guy in the colder weather, either daytime or nighttime. I don't think it's just a nighttime fragrance, but yeah, if you do happen to see it out and about, especially for a really good price, go ahead and snatch it up. There's no doubt that you would like it. And then that nighttime, I had to go out of town to help out with a church event, and I wore one that I haven't worn actually either since last year or the year before, and it used to be the most hyped in this line, but now that the Absolute version has come out, this has kind of got put on the back shelf, put to the side in the corner in the shadows, but I still think it is really, really good. Even though I do have a little different take on it, it is by Hugo Boss, and it is Boss Bottled Elixir. Very similar to Jasada's Ambassador or Jasada Ambassador Intense, or is it Extreme? No, Jasada Ambassador Intense, because I did happen to get a decant of that, and it does smell very similar, a little similar to like Dior Sauvage, but not as spicy, not as Ambroxan heavy. This is one that's going to be a lot more woodsy and a lot more smoky. I think there's also an incense or frankincense note in here, which I got immediately from the top all the way through, the dry down, the smokiness all the way through and through. A little bit of a caramelized sugar aspect in here mixed in with all of that. Very ambery, very warm. Like I said, I know it's gotten overshadowed by the Absolute, and I really do want to get that one, even though at some point I may get a Assad Elixir. I'm still going to try and get both of them, that way I can compare them, but I still want to get the Absolute. But yeah, still really nice. Not as well performing on me as I've heard other people claim, like, you know, it was monstrous, it had all this and that. It was a medium performer overall. It had a nice longevity, especially on clothes. I could smell it even to the next day on the clothes I wore, but on my skin, it wore off by the end of the night. Nothing too way out there, but it still was very nice, very classy. It'll last you a date or a little gathering, a little outing or whatever, but not one that's overdone on me. And then maybe didn't spray enough. Maybe I need to just overspray it just to see what it's like, or maybe my skin chemistry or the batch or whatever, but it's still overall really nice. And now that the Absolute version has come out, this is probably a lot more available and way better priced online at discounters. So if you don't have the Absolute version, or you want something that's like Sauvage Elixir adjacent, or just Auto Ambassador Intense adjacent, things like that, or just a good Hugo Boss flanker that not a lot of people are talking about anymore, this is a great one to go with. Even though it is a designer, you can still find it for a good price. But yeah, not bad at all. I really, really do enjoy this. That next day, wore one that, again, a lot of people probably won't see as a daytime wear, but I think when it really gets into the cold, you can definitely wear this in the daytime. And it was not as cold as it was in the week. It was midway in the week, slightly over the 70s, but most of the time I was in air conditioning and things like that. So this worked just fine. And again, another, just carrying on the tradition of wearing a Camera Perfumes Contra flanker somewhere in here. And this one is Contra Exquisite Latin Royal Edition. I had to look at it to read it because I can't remember all of that. And if you don't know, just by the name Latin Edition, you know that by the smell that this is a clone of Parfum de Molly's Leighton, and it is really, really good. And I actually got a lot of compliments of this at work. One was a compliment, one was a objection, or an observation per se, actually. Really nice, has that vanilla for little geranium, white floral, like menthol kind of effect in the beginning. Very woodsy. I think there's probably a little more of a woodsy take on Leighton, not as like so much, but just a tad bit more woodsy, a little spicy as well. Has that apple pie kind of thing, a little fruity sweet in the beginning, but way more on the vanilla on that. But yeah, like I said, I got a compliment on this. I had to bring it to work so someone could see the bottle and talk about it. And I did say that I was actually wearing Leighton, so a little bit of a lie, but I did come out with it as, as a joke. But basically, it was the Leighton DNA, just not the actual Leighton. But someone did ask me, I was wearing it through work, and someone made a statement and was like, does someone smell Vicks Vapor Rub in here? And I immediately knew what it was about, and I was like, it's me, it's what I'm wearing. They're like, why does it smell like Vicks Vapor Rub? And I told them, well, I'm wearing Parfum de Molly's Leighton. They didn't know what that was. They asked me to repeat myself. They still didn't know. And I was like, it's a fragrance, it's a niche style fragrance. And I said that, that it was the geranium, the white florals that was in this, that a lot of people get a Vicks Vapor Rub menthol kind of smell to it. And it was really interesting because I didn't tell them what it was about. They asked me. So yes, this does have that, Vicks Vapor Rub menthol kind of thing to it that is a little polarizing for some people with the Leighton profile. And actually, after recently smelling Leighton itself, I think that it has way more of that menthol effect than this does. So if you want something that is less menthol and more vanilla, maybe a tad bit more woodsy, this is the one to go with. It smells 1-to-1 though, really, really close. I compared them, and it's really, really good. Yeah, and you can still find this out and about, and I think it's actually in a clear bottle now, like a clear bottle with the blue wrap and a slightly blue tint to the glass. It still should be the same juice and all, and like $16 or so. So really, really good. And this lasted me all day, like literally the whole work day on my skin, and especially my clothes. Even after work, I could smell it. Really good quality, smelled all day. Got compliments from some coworkers, not just the one that said Vicks Vapor Rub. So it's a compliment puller still. Great to wear in daytime or nighttime. Just make sure it's a little cooler, and you may get a little of that menthol kind of thing to it. So just be prepared for the comments you may get on that one. But still, it's absolutely good. If you do get a chance to get it, highly recommend it. And at nighttime, I originally was gonna wear something else, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, since I'm chilling here at the house, I'm gonna kind of experiment wearing some other like niche and indie samples that I don't get a whole lot of wear of, and decided to venture out and wear this one that I have another from Scent Trunk, and it's one that I've smelled on the test strip but never on skin. Very, very interesting. Well, some people like it, some people don't. I've seen all kinds of stuff online about it, but I decided to try it out and see what I thought about it. But again, by Scent Trunk, and it is patchouli. But if you go look on Scent Trunk's profile, on their website, I think it'll actually say jungle patchouli now, but it's all the same note breakdown. It should be the same juice and all of that, but this is one that, like the name says, is very forward on the patchouli, and it's not so much an earthy patchouli. It's more of like a plant green, herbal, like aromatic style patchouli. It has a very slight earthiness, but nothing like I've smelled in other things. It does not have that chocolatey effect to it. Like I said, way more just aromatic, herbal, a little dry. It has a lot of spiciness in here, and weirdly enough, on skin, this smelled like Italian sausage kind of spices. Like it legit smelled like Italian sausage pizza or cooking or whatever. Like dry herbs and spices kind of style. Very different, very woody, very dry, a little resinous and balsamic as it dried down. It's very interesting. Not gonna be for the lighthearted, not gonna be for anyone just getting into fragrances. You have to really love a unique style of perfumery probably to appreciate this, because it's not gonna be for everybody. And even on me, I was like, it's okay, but I don't know if I wear this casually. I still will eventually wear the sample up, but it's not gonna be anything that I'm rushing to. It lasted well into the night, and actually it had a little bit of a menthol kind of eucalyptus smell to it as well. It was very interesting, but yeah, it lasted well into the night on my skin and my clothes. Got way better as it dried down, way more subtle and wearable, but still something that's not gonna be for everybody. It's great, it's good, it's very unique, especially, and I'd still recommend anyone to go out there and go to Scent Trunk to their, I think they call it Discovery or Not Ordinary set, whatever the kind of palette they call it. And it has this and a lot of other ones in there. Highly recommend trying that out and seeing what you think about it. I think it's pretty inexpensive as well, like under $40 for that little palette. And you get like 6 of them in it, I think, or 7 or something like that. Very interesting, very unique. If you aren't curious about it, definitely recommend getting it. But this one, not gonna be one to wear all the time, but it's gonna be a nice little thing to break out every once in a while if I wanna wear something just a little out in left field. And that next day, kind of wore a combo of fragrances, because originally I was wanting to wear the rest of the decant of this one here, Bad Boy Elixir by Carolina Herrera. But I found out this actually had a leak in it, like sometime last year, and I wore it and tried to travel with it. I had to keep it upright because it kept pouring out a little bit. And this time when I went to spray it, it barely had anything left in it. So it had a little bit on my skin and on my clothes, but not enough to really have a full wearing. So on top of that, I sprayed this one, Burberry Brit for Men. And I gotta say, the two actually complemented pretty well. This gave me that aromatic, almost truffle, bitter, sour kind of blue effect, a little ozonic, a little fresh, a tad bit of earthiness, and a little bit of that vanilla that was still left that's overall in that. On top of it, I sprayed this one, which gave it a very like baby powder, cardamom, rose, aromatic style fragrance, a little bit musky, and that was musky as well, and a little bit woody as well. But overall, this is a very baby powder style of cardamom, a little bit of a fresh rose in there as well. Very, very nice though. It is a product of the mid-2000s, so people who don't like retro fragrances might not like this, but I still think that most, not all of Burberry's old style stuff is very relevant for now, very wearable. I'm gonna do a video on Burberry one day, just all the stuff that I like from them that is older but still works now. Burberry Touch is one of them, Burberry for Men's one of them, Burberry London. The list can go on, but yeah, this is a great one. Absolutely love this. Way more for the fall and springtime. Some people might think it's good for summer. You know, that's probably good for winter time of the day as well, but day or night, spring and fall is probably where this fits the best. Really like this one. If you don't like powdery scents, you're not gonna like this, but if you like oriental, powdery, spicy, and again, a little bit of that rose in there, and for a masculine version of that, this is a great one to go with. Not the best as far as like longevity, but pretty okay in projection. It's a like average, a little under average performer overall, but this is one that you can spray heavy on and not really be overloaded by it. It's gonna smell great, it's gonna dry down and even out. It's a really good one. You can find it for like a really good price at discounters and especially at rack stores. So yeah, if you see it out and about, definitely recommend it. And the combo of these two was a hit. Really enjoyed it and definitely recommend either one of them. And at nighttime, I had to carry on yet another tradition that I've been doing recently, apparently, which is wearing another Belkin Parfums fragrance. And this is one I talked about in a video between the Bold Tobacco one and this one. And I think I put the link right here for both of those. I basically called it Belkins that are good for the cold weather, or these two are good for the cold weather. And this is one that is probably gonna be the more likable than that one. And I did really enjoy this more this past time I've worn it than ever before. It is this one called Volatile. And I know that it used to be you find this at Walmart. You may still be able to find this online like at Amazon and whatnot, but I haven't seen it a whole lot recently, so it may be either discontinued or just not in production. But Belkin is going through and rebranding a lot of their stuff, so maybe they have retracted this to re-release it under a different name. But this is one that is a clone of the original Spice Bomb by Viktor and Rolf. So not anything too tobacco and too vanilla forward like Spice Bomb Extreme. It's way more on the spices like the original one is. Very spicy, very vanilla, a little bit warm, very cozy. It smells Really, really, really good. And I have another fragrance back here by the Good Sense called Guapo, and it's also a really good one as well. They're comparable. I used to think that that one was better than this, but I think they're pretty much about the same. But yeah, this one really nice, and actually this had a pretty good performance overall, like a little under average. I smelled it way into the night on my clothes and a little bit on my skin, had a nice projection overall. I'd say it's like, yeah, probably medium projector, medium performer, a little under that, and longevity, especially on clothes, like about 4 to 5 hours or so. But I mean, this is one that if you're going out for a quick date or quick gathering, quick out and about meeting or whatever, and it's like either day or nighttime, probably more for nighttime, you can spray this on and smell great. The opening does have a little bit of a weird, like almost sourness with the way the vanilla comes across, but as it dries down, it smooths out and is like really indistinguishable from the original Spice Bomb EDT. So yeah, absolutely amazing, great one. Again, I don't know if they're still in the production on this, but if you do happen to see this out and about, I cannot recommend it enough. Above anything else in Belcam's cold weather style stuff, this is the one that you should be getting. And then yesterday on Friday, it was a warmer day, and it gave me the chance to wear yet another one that I opened up in my last live stream. And I really wasn't expecting a whole lot with this, but delivered a lot more than what I expected on it. And I'm really on the fence on whether to give this away or sell it or just keep it, because it is really, really nice still regardless. It is by Mercedes, and this is Mercedes Man Intense. So the original Mercedes Man, you know, in a lighter blue style bottle, a lighter blue style glass. It's very ozonic, fresh, citrusy, fruity, things like that. Ozonic, musky. But this one, the Intense version, immediately upon smelling it, I knew exactly what this is a clone of. And that is Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, but way more in line with the style that Mont Blanc Legend EDP does instead. And actually, when you go through the smells like section of Fragrantica, that's the first one that pops up, and it really is very, very close. But the difference that I have with this and Mont Blanc Legend EDP is that immediately in the opening, you get a lot more of a mossiness in here, a little earthy, a little green, and then as it dries down, it gets more like that one, and you get more of a woodiness that comes out in here. That's a noticeable like cedar or patchouli style of woodiness, a little bit powdery, more so than what you get in Legend EDP. That one is a lot more lavender forward, and you do get that in here as well, but that one's a lot more lavender and actually a lot darker into that suede leather kind of feel as it dries down, and still keeping that woodiness, but this has a little bit of a sharper but yet powdery woodiness, if that makes sense. A little similar also to the dry down of how like what is it, Tommy Bahama Maritime Triumph, that style of cedar balsam woodiness along with the powdery nature, it's very much in this as well. But yeah, if you want a style of Fierce that is, or Legend EDP that is a little more mossy in the opening and a lot more woody powdery in the dry down, this is one to go with. And for an intense flanker, it definitely lived up to the name, because I smelled this very strongly, and like a not overpowering, but very consistent medium projection on my skin and especially my clothes the whole work day. Even when I got home that night, like after 6 hours, almost 7 hours, I could still smell it pretty like way out there on my clothes. So yeah, it definitely lives up to the intense name that it's carrying. Not bad at all, and for the price I got this at, which was like $29.99 or a little under that, not bad at all. If you don't have Mont Blanc Legend EDP or anything like Fierce and you see this out and about, I definitely recommend trying it out and see what you think about it. But yeah, personally, don't know if I'll keep it, maybe keep it for research purposes, but still, nonetheless, it's really, really good. And then that nighttime, had a family get together to go to. All my family got together at my parents' house and decorated their house and their tree for Christmas, and just hung out, had a good time around. And this is one that I originally was planning on wearing midway in the week, but I pushed it off. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna wear it while I'm around more people just to enjoy it. Maybe they'll enjoy it as well. One that got a lot of hype after it came out, like even for the whole year after it came out. A lot of people say that it was the release from this line of the year, and even from designers of the year. And I think it came out in 2023, and now not a whole lot of people are talking about it, even though a lot will consider it still under the radar and in the background, even though it shouldn't be. But it's another one by Hugo Boss, but this is from the Scent line, and this is the Scent Magnetic. So one that is not so forward on that Manica fruit, which is what makes the Scent line what it is. This is way more on the bourbon vanilla in here and the brand note that's in here, which is very unique, has a little bit of a almost cereal kind of vibe to it, especially that vanilla, like not really hay, but I think like oats, cereal, like sweet oats, oatmeal, things like that kind of vibe. And it's really, really nice though. Yeah, very interesting. There is a little bit of a fruitiness on the top, and I don't know if it does have that Manica fruit. There's other ones back here that I have that is way stronger on that fruitiness. It is slightly there, but it's not as, forward on the fruit tart sweet side like you would expect, that it balances the tart and, sweetness like in a fruit. But still, the main thing you're getting with this is that brand note and that bourbon vanilla, which is the star of the show. Amazing, amazing performer, lasted the whole night. Even when I woke up the next morning, I smell it still on my chest, the smell on the clothes that I had the night before, the undershirt that I had the night before, and yeah, even once in the night, still smelled it on my skin, my wrists, and things like that. Amazing flanker, really, really good. And now the scent line is popping up, or at least it was popping up for a while at rack stores, especially Ross Dress for Less. I have most of the scent line that's current and or redid that I got from them, and each of these small 50 ml bottles was like $39.99, I believe, maybe a little under that or so. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing profile, very seductive, very sexy, very easy to wear. Probably, again, more for the nighttime in the colder weather of fall, winter, maybe some in the spring as well. But still, if you don't have this and you see it out and about at a rack store for $39.99, especially for less, definitely recommend getting it. It's not really talked about a whole lot like it was, but still should be, because it is really, really good. And then today is Saturday. Myself, my wife, and baby went out and about. Usually we have our out nights and getting groceries and shopping on Friday nights, but because I had that family event, we went today, and it was a very warm day. I think the high was like 77, 78, so approaching basically almost springtime temperatures. Not so high in summer, but yet not so low like it should be in fall, like we'd like for it to be. And it gave me the chance to wear this one that has been making the rounds everywhere on TikTok, everywhere on the YouTube community, everywhere, and very, very hyped recent release from this clone house. And I did open this one up in my most recent live stream along with the Roberto Cavalli one and that Mercedes-Benz Man Intense. It is by Cod Lodge, and this one is Island Dreams. And I do have my own take on this one that maybe not a lot of people will agree with, especially some of the more well-known YouTubers, and I see a lot of their reviews on it, especially after myself smelling this, and I'm like, I don't see how you don't get this out of it. I don't see how you get that out of it. I do overall agree that it is a very high quality scent, especially on the citrus notes, very, very citric. I think it's either ginger or something else in here, the bergamot or whatnot. Very citrus forward, very bright, not really, a little rindy, but not really anything too sweet. It's actually a very almost dry style of citrus. Very, very, very nice, very musky. And it does have a lot of ambroxan in here, which does add to the projection. It adds to longevity. It makes it very potent, and it adds a little bit of a almost ambery depth to it. Nothing too warm, nothing too cold weather style of amber. Just almost a fresh style of ambergris, a fresh style of amber. But what I mainly get out of this, which I hope maybe some people agree, some people don't, is a waxy style of florals. And I know it's not a note that's listed, it's not anything that's in the note breakdown, it's more of a nuanced style and something that's kind of, it's very much an antidote kind of thing, but I do think it has a waxiness about it with the musk and the florals and the way it's mixed, and which makes this to me very unisex, slightly feminine leaning. I did enjoy wearing it. I'm pretty sure it will be very attractive, very confident getting, but it's one that probably my wife will get a lot more wear out of, and maybe some women out there will enjoy more than most men, but I do enjoy this. I know it's cloning Louis Vuitton Symphony, but I do think it's very unisex, more so leaning feminine, if not mostly leaning feminine, if hardly unisex in the middle. But yeah, I know that a lot of guys will enjoy it, probably way more for the spring and summertime, not really most of the colder season stuff, but one that I did enjoy. Yeah, it's just not my absolute cup of tea. I do have a lot of other citric floral fragrances that I prefer over this, and maybe the way that it comes across, it is a little sparkling, a little effervescent. It is very nice quality, but not one that I thought it would smell like what I've heard other people describe. But yeah, I know it's making around the YouTube community, and I know that it's also available at rack stores now, which is where I got this one. Like TJ Maxx, it was like $39.99, which is very comparable to what it is online, if not a little less than that, because you're just paying tax and not shipping. So if you do see this out and about and you want to get your lady something, or even yourself something that's unisex, a little, like I said, floral, citric, musky, a little bit of an ambergris, sparkling factor to it, it's a great one to go with. A great performance as well, like lasted me the whole day. I still smell it on my clothes and on my neck right now, like 7 hours later. So it has pretty okay longevity depending on how you work it, if it's too warm or too hot or whatnot. But yeah, maybe eventually I'll give a little bit of a review on this and kind of put my thoughts out there more in just a single video and kind of organize it. But as of now, that's what I think about it. Not bad, but not one that I would be rushing to wear and tell everyone about. But still, you can't deny the quality. It is still pretty good. And if you do happen to see it out there and you're curious about it, just go ahead and try it out and see what you think about it. And there you go, guys. That's all the things I've worn off of the week from Monday to today on Saturday. What do you think about any of these I've worn? Most of them are new wears for me and things I haven't given a full wearing of even in a while. If any of these have stood out to you or any of these are your favorites or you've had questions about them, let me know what you think in the comments below. Just if you have any questions or any comments or just anything to say in general. And if you enjoy this video, if you like what you see here, please consider giving the video a like and thumbs up. Let me know that you are enjoying these weekly rotation videos. And if they are going a little too long, let me know about that as well. Maybe in the future, I'll try to concise them down because I feel like I'm rambling maybe just a little too much. And if you're watching this video and you like what you see here, or if you like what you've seen elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you can see all the other things that I have working on in the background to bring out to you guys to hopefully watch and enjoy and have something that will help you out in your fragrance journey. I'd love for you to be right along with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey that I'm going through, and hopefully I can even help you discover something new along the way. And as usual, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy it, and I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.